Thank you, David Long. It doesn't seem like that long ago that David and I stood in the Senate chamber and we announced that I was deploying to Afghanistan, taking a leave of absence from the Indiana State Senate. And since that time and time again, I've been reminded about how much of a good friend David Long is to the Banks family. I've been proud to serve alongside him for 5 years in the Indiana General Assembly, where we championed many conservative ideas and policies that have made Indiana a greater place. I'm very grateful for David Long's leadership. Please thank him again. Amanda Banks, Senator Amanda Banks. I am very, very proud of Amanda. On one hand, our story is not unique. Every year, tens of thousands of military spouses step up and assume challenging new roles and do extraordinary things to care for their families while service members like me go and do our jobs overseas. But Amanda Banks is unique. She has to put up with me. Last week, when I filed the necessary paperwork to notify the President pro tem of my return, which triggered the reversion of the state Senate position back to me, I know that many of you were disappointed. She did a tremendous job, and I'm very proud of her. Amanda, I'm very grateful that you are my wife. I'm proud of you for not only serving admirably in the state Senate, but also for raising our 3 daughters while I was away. My friends, please join me again for thanking Amanda for her service. In front of you are my combat boots. I last wore those combat boots 3 weeks ago from this very day, when I arrived at the Fort Wayne International Airport, completing my nearly 8-month deployment to Afghanistan. It was the happiest moment of my life when I returned to the airport to greet my family and many of you who were there as well to give me a hero's welcome. Those combat boots were issued to me at Naval Station Norfolk the first week of September. I wore them through combat training at Fort Jackson in South Carolina. I wore them all the way to Afghanistan, and every day I was gone, they were worn on my feet. They've been through a lot. They're dirty. My daughter Lily says they smell bad. But those boots represent 228 days that I spent away from home and away from my 3 young daughters. They remind me of the extraordinary men and women that I met along the way. The ones I met in training, the ones I served with in Afghanistan who are already home, and the ones who will never come home. Those names will stick with me forever. Those names include Sergeant Major Wardell Turner, Lieutenant Junior Grade Stephen Bias, Specialist Joseph Riley, Major General Harold Green. To me, the world is a much more complicated place than it was 9 months ago when I left for Afghanistan. Those boots will always remind me of that. Those boots represent the men and women who have gone before me to fight, protect, and sometimes die for our country. And my sacrifice pales in comparison to many of them. May we never forget their sacrifices. As I think about what makes America great and those in our nation's capital who have worked to diminish America's greatness at home and abroad, I realize there is more I must do to serve our country, the greatest country in the world. That's why today, exactly 3 weeks from stepping off that plane from Afghanistan at Fort Wayne International Airport, I'm declaring my intention to be your next congressman for the 3rd District of Indiana. Thank you. Amanda, the girls, and I are ready for the challenge ahead. We know this won't be easy, and we can't do it without all of you. This isn't about me. It's about serving our veterans, serving families in Northeast Indiana looking for better opportunities, and fighting on all of our behalf to restore American greatness. This campaign will be about issues and ideas. We will talk about cleaning up the bureaucratic mess that is the VA. We will talk about supporting our troops and strengthening our military that has been weakened by the current administration. We will talk about creating jobs right here in the 3rd Congressional District by once and for all ending the medical device tax and by protecting and growing the 122nd Fighter Wing. I am proud of our accomplishments at the Indiana State House, including the passage of legislation to repeal the state death tax, to provide better educational opportunities for all Hoosier kids, pro-life measures that make Indiana one of the most pro-life states in the nation, legislation to protect our Second Amendment rights, reduce taxes, and limit the size and scope of government. Today, I'm asking for your help to send me to Washington to take the same type of conservative leadership that I have fought for in Indianapolis to Washington, D.C., where it is sorely and desperately needed. And when I win this race and I go to Congress, I'm taking the combat boots with me. They will always remind me of the sacrifices that others have made to make America great. So with that, thank you all for being here. Thank you for your support. God bless you all, and God bless America. Thank you.